Yeah, excellent. So, hey everyone, welcome to the Comedy Hostel Podcast. I'm John Seelig, local stand-up comic. I love to travel. I also love Montreal, where I'm from, where I live. And my goal is to help visitors to Montreal, locals also, discover stuff that's a bit under the radar. And joining me are some of Montreal's favorite comics to help act as tour guides on this podcast. And the man behind the Mac is Reese Turner from the Mobcast Network, themobcastnetwork.com. Reese, what is the Mobcast Network?
The Mobcast Network.
Yeah.
Well, basically, it's a place for anything hip-hop, comedy, event-related to really get a light shone. Like sports, comedy, music. We got it all.
All kinds of podcasts, right?
All kinds.
Excellent. And you have your own, right?
I do. Radio. Check that shit out.
Hip-hop and comedy. And you're doing well?
We're doing not bad.
Good.
I like it. Having fun. Meeting a lot of good people.
Good. Well, thank you for putting this thing together for me. And just want to let everyone know that a lot of the guests who are going to be coming on this podcast are comics who will be on Stand Up at the M, which is a show that I run every Thursday at M Bar, 1245 Rue Saint-André in downtown Montreal. And it happens every Thursday. It happens in a hostel bar. And we get pro comics, we get some of the top up-and-comers in Montreal and from elsewhere dropping in. And it's a great time. Beer's cheap. And one of our comics who's going to be on
super
our June...
cheap.
It is cheap. Abdul,
super cheap.
You've drank there, correct?
Super cheap.
It is pretty cheap, right?
It's dangerously cheap.
I know. A couple of hangovers have proven
it's very
that.
dangerous.
Exactly. So joining me is our first guest, and he's also going to act as our co-host later in the show. It's Montreal-comic Abdul Butt. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, man. What's going on, dude?
Not too much. It's beautiful weather.
Amazing.
We're inside recording a podcast.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun. So welcome.
Yeah, thanks, man. Glad to be here.
What's that?
I'm glad to be here.
Oh,
nice,
excellent.
Nice crib you got.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You like the exposed brick?
It is very nice.
Good,
exposed.
good.
Is it real? It looks real.
It's pretty real. I don't really know where one goes to acquire fake exposed brick, but I just took it like this because it's part of the charm.
It's very nice.
Thank you so much. It had nothing to do with it other than the fact that I liked it and I selected
that you
it.
pay rent for it.
Exactly.
Pay for it monthly.
Thanks for exposing the fact that I'm not a homeowner, Abdul. I appreciate that.
Actually, I kind of just assumed that. I didn't really... You could have lied.
That's true. I'm not out to glorify things that I don't own and stuff like that.
It's all right, though.
I appreciate that. So you're going to be on June 13th at the M. So you do comedy, correct? You're a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
How's that going, Abdul?
It's all right. You can't complain. I mean, it's a hustle, man. Like anything, it's a hustle. You got to keep plugging away at it, non-stop. Like there's no stopping at all. Like you can't take a break. It'll knock you off the tracks. So it's fun, man. It's a rush to keep doing it.
I understand, and because I'm well familiar with that grind.
You know, man. You know.
I do. It's a grind, and you seem to work hard at it. And how long are you doing stand-up now?
It's 4.5 years now, man. It's 4.5 years this year. It's I started like about a year before that also, but then I kind of like dropped out. And because I wasn't up for the grind, like I just didn't think it was that hard. And then afterwards, I just realized like, hey, it's now or never, and like just let's do this. So that's what got me back into it. Just realizing that it's tough, man. It's tough. You gotta.
You think?
Yeah, it is tough.
It's fucking tough. I completely agree with you.
It's really tough. You gotta be like, you gotta be not only funny but somewhat, you have to put up with a lot of crap. I think. Am I downing? Am I putting a downer on all this?
No, there's no doubt about it.
I'm opening up. I'm getting depressed. No, it's all right. No, it's a lot of work, man. Like anything in life, you know that.
We've all eaten our fair share of shit sandwiches on stage. Man. There's no doubt about it. But you're doing really well.
Yeah, thanks.
You're doing weekends at the clubs here in Montreal. You're headlining all over the place. And in terms of like some other projects you have, what else you got going on?
Just between the stand-up and I do the videos, man. The YouTube videos on my channel. Just that's all I do, man. I keep plugging away at it. Also, whatever small side gigs I can get with stand-up or TV shows. If I get something, that'd be great. It's pretty much it, man. Mostly the YouTube and stand-up.
And so you're
all over that.
I guess I want to talk about your videos. So. You're very Montreal-centric. Your videos are really Montreal-centric, it seems. Yeah, man, yeah. They're pretty much. I tried to steer away from the Montreal a little bit, but it's just, I like it. There's a lot of funny stuff that goes on here, and I mean, I'm sure there's funny things that happen in other places, but I like Montreal.
Is that okay to say? Is that a good thing to...
I think it's a really good thing to say.
I like
trying to promote how awesome Montreal is.
Yeah, no, and I think there's a lot of good stuff that happens here, and I feel like we go under the radar a lot when it comes to like entertainment in Canada, especially. Like we're totally like English entertainment.
Yeah.
We're totally under the radar where they're like they don't even consider us part of their scene. So that's why I kind of like. I mean, I would like to do stuff in other places, like either Toronto or. But I feel like I like putting Montreal on the map, and that would be my goal. Like I'd be super stoked if I could do something that would just put Montreal on the map.
What what are some subjects that you've filmed to date? Like what have you gone out there and filmed? What's been funny? What's hit? What's miss?
Oh, it's so hard, man, to know what's gonna hit or what's not. You know, like sometimes you'll do a video and you're like, oh, this is gonna be amazing. People are gonna love this, and then I mean you'll get views, but totally not what you think you would get.
So tell us about a video, Abdul, that you're really proud of, that you want people to check out, and why it was hilarious.
Proud of? I'm proud of all of them, should I say? No. No, I like them all. But I like the last one a lot, man. I like the one I did on Oprah showing up in Montreal.
Oh, that was funny.
I like that one, but like, I mean, I found that one really funny. Like, there was a lot. I didn't expect to get as much as I did. And I probably should have made it a little shorter, but there was a lot of good things, and I was like, I gotta put this. There's just people overly excited for Oprah, which was weird. Because you're like, and they were bringing her gifts and stuff. Like, people were bringing her presents. Like, a girl brought her pants. I'm like, why would Oprah wear your pants? Like, seriously?
And
like,
how do they know what size pants to bring Oprah?
I know.
Because she kind of fluctuates in that department,
She does fluctuate a lot. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. It's very... Yeah, it was a weird thing. It was a weird... Oprah was a lot of characters there, so...
well, you gotta have
that was a good one.
You gotta have some characters who are willing to pay $200 to one of the world's wealthiest women.
Dude,
some sort of life advice.
People paid $400 a ticket. Like, the ones right on the floor were $400. That's what I found hilarious, because I was like, whatever. Even no matter what struggle you went through in life, but to charge people $400 and you know, like, they're huge fans, right? Like, and you're charging them that much money. I'm totally against, like, even like the Rolling Stones, like, I love their music, but the fact that they charge people like ridiculous amounts of money to see their music live, I don't respect that at all. I think it's like, you have fans like AC/DC when they came. They're huge, and they charge like $100 on the floor. And
they're the working man. They're the common man.
That's it, you know. Like that's people that, I mean, why would you? That's I find it disrespectful to your fans.
Well, what's pretty funny about the Stones is it's totally backfired on them. And
really?
Now what they're doing is you sign up on their website, and they are going to be releasing via lottery. So if they select your name, you have the right to buy 2 tickets for $85 each. It could be anywhere. So if they didn't sell those $650 tickets, you can get Stone. You can sit there for $85. So I signed up for that. So it's just hopefully I can screw the Stones like that.
For sure, that's a good deal. But I just don't like the fact that, and Clapton's another one. I think he does that too. He charges crazy amounts. There's some people, but it's nuts.
So you were telling me earlier about something that didn't make it to camera in one of your videos.
We just it didn't. The cameraman didn't record it. He forgot to push record, and I was interviewing a girl. It was like one of those like sugar like girls that go after like rich guys, and she had like a huge amount of cleavage, and I was just asking like a serious question. I think it was something political, and she was giving like an honest opinion, and I just couldn't pay attention because the fact that she had this much cleavage, and then I had to ask her. I was just like flat out asked her if they were real, and the look on her face was just priceless,
completely unprofessional.
It's just I couldn't not, like, it was right there, and it was the only thing in my mind while she was trying to give like whatever. I don't even know if it was an educated opinion. I wasn't paying attention at all, but and I thought that was like that was a perfect thing to throw in a video, and turns out the camera wasn't recording.
And which video was this?
So that was the Bill 78. I think I did like a video when the government passed the law where you can't protest with more than more than 20 people or something in a group. It was considered a protest.
You have to leave your cleavage exposed for Bill 78.
You do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So I asked her opinion on it, and then I don't care or know what she said.
So what's the funniest thing about Montreal? What makes Montreal a funny place?
I think our characters, man. We have like people are like outgoing here. Like they're willing to like when I do videos here. Like I've done some in Ottawa, and they're so like there's nothing in them. Like they have no energy. But when you do it in Montreal, like people are like willing to talk. Like they want to be on camera. They want to say something funny. Like they're good. They're really good to interview and do stuff with. Everyone's a character in Montreal.
So you're basically telling people to not visit Ottawa when they come to Canada.
Ottawa is very boring. It's
agree.
like the most boring place ever. Every time I go there, I don't know why people even... And it's sad because a lot of people show up there thinking like, oh, I'm going to visit Canada. I'm going to the best place in Canada, the capital, right? That's what they totally, for sure, label it right away. And I don't know. I think it's a good place. It's nice. But I don't think it's... If you want entertainment, Ottawa is not really the place to go.
It's pretty. There's actually some good food. End of story, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, the food. Yeah, okay. There's nothing else after like 8 p.m. You're done.
That's true.
Go
That's
to bed.
true. Yeah, or you can go to the Ottawa Library and surf porn with homeless people, whichever works for you. So last thing we got to ask you here before we bring on our guest for the week. Anything in Montreal you recommend people check out? What's something you love, something you enjoy about Montreal that if someone's visiting town, what should they check out that's maybe not in a guidebook?
I don't like places. I mean, there's just so many festivals and stuff, but I think like places. I don't know. I just eat like I'm not a fancy dude, right? I just get like a slice of pizza after comedy.
We're not fancy either.
All right, I don't know. That's so I like that Chez Danny. Is it on De La Montagne? That's a cool place. They got sesame seeds on the crust. That's delicious. It's a hole in the wall. Like it's actually not like bad. Like it's a nice little place now. I think they fixed it up, but it's really tiny. Like I think 3 people at a time will fit in there. Yeah. You just order your slice and then you bounce.
Chez Danny, and that's like at the corner of I think De La Montagne and St.
Catherine. Yeah, right there, right on the corner.
So if you're staying downtown somewhere and you want some cheap food and you're broke after drinking all kinds of beer, Chez Danny, right at the corner.
St. Catherine and De La Montagne. It used to be super noticeable because there was I think there was like one of those porno cinemas right next to it. Yeah, I think that was it. The first time I ate there, I was skeptical. It was like eating next door to a porno cinema. And my brother was actually the first person to bring me there. And then I was like, I don't want to eat here, dude. And he was like, no, trust me, it's good. And it was good, yeah.
Understand the cause for concern. Excellent. So where are you going to be performing? So you're going to be performing at M-Bar on the 13th of June. And where else can people catch you?
I'm going to be at the Comedy Works also on, I'm doing June 6th and 8th. Just the early shows. I'm doing a spot there. And then a few spots in June. And mainly at the Nest, though, I'll be doing the weekend of July 4th to the 6th.
Excellent.
So that'll be cool.
We'll post the addresses to those places on our fan page, or when the web page is up, we'll get them there too. So listen, stick around a few more minutes. You ready to talk to our guest a little bit?
Yeah, man. Cool. Let's talk to...
But where can they find your Twitter, get the social media stuff?
Yeah, for sure. You can hit up my YouTube channel is Abdul Butt Comedy on YouTube. Website abdulbutt.com, and Twitter handle is Abdul Butt Comedy. That's because there's a guy that has my name and I hate him for it. And
really?
And he doesn't even use his Twitter account. What's that about?
He has a Twitter account, Abdul Butt,
and he doesn't use it. And I think he tweeted like 3 times in 2009, and he's never tweeted again.
Someone needs to start some sort of service where we hunt down these Twitter, what do we call them, squatters?
You know?
Squatters.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what it is? They got to stop squatting and get out of here.
Cash settlement, Abdul, cash settlement. Yeah. That's what you do. Money will do it. Excellent. Listen, thanks so much, and stick around, everyone, and we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Everybody said that you better watch out. Man, she's gonna turn.
We're good to go.
Good to go.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Abdul Butt, who was our co-host for the week.
It's happening.
And I'm here with Shane Adamczak, our very first guest on the Comedy Hostel Podcast. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Good. Welcome to the abode here, the studio, or whatever we call this thing. So let's...
The view of the brick wall.
That's right. Shane, what do you think of the brick wall?
It's glamorous. It's a nice... I like the the finish.
You like the glaze?
Yeah, it's a nice glaze.
That's it. I actually thought there's a lack of glaze, but there is a bit of a shine coming off it. So not enough to see ourselves in or anything.
You like
that,
showing
but-
off that brick wall, eh? That's why you set up all our chairs.
Totally.
Selling point.
It is a major selling point of this podcast. And everyone who's listening to this is going to be extremely jealous. They cannot be looking at this brick wall.
It's a nice brick wall.
Thank you. Like I said, I had absolutely nothing to do with it. We spent a lot of time on my brick wall, more than I expected.
Yeah.
So let's get to our guest, because he's kind of the center of attention here. Shane, tell us who you are, where you're from, all that kind of good stuff.
All that kind of good stuff. My name is Shane Adamczak. I'm from West Australia, and I've been living in Montreal for like a year now, which has been amazing. It's been an amazing year of my life.
What's made it? What's been the highlight? What's made it amazing? And why'd you choose Montreal out of all places? You're from a really hot country,
Yes.
where everyone who's from there that I meet raves about how they have the greatest country on earth with the best weather.
Yep.
And it's just such a fantastic place to live. Apparently, you were coming to a place that has like 24 months of winter per year.
Yeah, and this has actually been this last winter was the first like time I've ever seen snow, right? Ever. So this is the first time I've ever been in anywhere where there's like -0, minus anything in my life. So I will admit it was a pretty harsh winter for me. It was a hard learning curve, but I still love this place. I think that's testament to how amazing Montreal is. The reason I ended up here is because 2008, I toured here with my company for the Fringe Festival, and we just had a really good time, and I came back again in 2011, doing a solo show. Again, had an amazing time. In 2012, decided to come back again doing a solo show, but decided I would have a sort of a longer stay. So I came and did the Fringe Festival circuit, and then I moved here. Completely legally, by the way, in case anyone from the government is listening. I have papers. It's all above board.
What do you have? Papers. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say because I think he has weed. This is
You can
not,
sort that out.
it's not that type of a podcast. All right. Yeah.
No big deal.
So you must have been totally shocked, right? For winter, you actually stayed throughout. You came for the best times. Like you came every summer. Did you feel you got shafted? Did you feel like, it wasn't that?
And so you guys didn't tell me about this. No, I think I had quite a lot of warning. A lot of people took quite a lot of joy in telling me how much I wasn't going to enjoy the winter. So they'd tell me get a good jacket, get good boots, get good gloves, and I did all of that. I spent a lot of money to ensure that I wouldn't die, and I didn't. And I think the novelty of snow didn't wear off throughout the winter. I don't know if I could do another winter.
So you're heading out of here already? That was it?
Well, I am going back to Australia for the summer over there, so I will miss winter next year.
Oh, so you're like a fair weather Montrealer? Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, that's exactly. I'm going to do a couple months on, couple months off.
That must be a nice luxury to
like
be
a work away from home dad. Yeah.
Well, we already hate you. No, I'm just kidding. We're jealous. We are. This was a harsh winter for, I think, people who were born here. Just as a little FYI.
It was just long. It was really long. It just didn't stop.
45 centimeters of snow on a given day does not really help either.
That was a crazy day, and I had to walk down a really long street that day. I was very confused and disorientated. And then you guys, winter ended, and I was like, okay, spring. I put my winter jacket and stuff away. Then 3 days later, just boom, snow again. Yeah. You just tacked a little one on the end there, Montreal.
I have a little Australia connection to that. It was December 27th that we had 45 centimeters of snow, which is the most snow that Montreal has ever had in a single day. And that Thursday is the day I run my show at M-Bar. And everyone was trapped in the hostel all day long. And so we're running the show at about 9:30 at night, and there was a whole group of Australians, probably 20 to 22 years old, all males. When the show started, these guys were really drunk, and they were really suffering from a great amount of cabin fever, and probably the hardest group of people, and I was hosting, that I ever had to deal with on stage. I think they managed to frustrate every single comic that night, but they didn't mean it. They were just having a good time,
Yeah, as someone that's performed to many a large audience of drunken Australians, I can understand how tricky that can be. I've had a really good time. The few comedy gigs I've done here, the audiences have been really nice. I've done more improv stuff than I have comedy, like stand-up. But yeah, it's been great. The audiences here are amazing, and the city is beautiful, the food is great, everyone looks like a goddamn model, which I still can't get over. And I thought to myself, maybe it's just, I'm in a new city, but still a year later I just walk down the street going, that is a homeless man, and he looks like he could be in a Calvin Klein ad, and it just blows my mind.
Maybe they're unemployed ex-Calvin Klein ad models.
Could be.
There you go.
You know.
So tell us about what is Fringe Festival. Why don't you tell us about that? And you have a show in Fringe Festival. Maybe elaborate on those 2 points.
Yeah, so Fringe is basically like just a massive arts festival where theatre, comedy, dance, visual arts come together. Artists from all around the world. And the Montreal Fringe, I think, has 111 shows this year. I think something around that. I've done a lot of Fringe festivals around the world. The Montreal Fringe is my favourite party Fringe. Because not only is there like hundreds of really great shows, the atmosphere during the day is really good, and then you've got the 13th hour, which starts at 1 a.m. every night, and then goes till 2 or 3 in the morning. It's an awesome party Fringe. The show I'm doing this year is called Zach to the Future. My last 2 shows have been about a character called Zach Adams that I play, and this is like the 3rd show, where after a failed show, which is sort of based on something that really happened, he decides to travel to the future to find out if he ever becomes successful. But when he gets there, he can't find future Zach, and so he sort of has to solve that mystery, and then there's a sort of a monster trying to get him, and he falls in love with the girl, and it all gets very complicated and timey-wimey and wibbly-wobbly.
The title is pretty appropriate.
Yes!
And it kind of suits your name, too. It seems to be coincidental that it stems from your name.
Yes! Unfortunately, there was no other time travel things that rhymed with Zach, so it just worked out really well.
And where else, what other Fringe festivals have you performed? Which ones have you loved? Which has been the best experiences? Partying aside.
Yeah, well, in Australia, I've done pretty much every Fringe festival there is, from the West Coast to the East Coast. In Canada, I've done here, Toronto, Ottawa, Victoria, Edmonton, Winnipeg, a whole bunch of times. Edmonton and Winnipeg are 2 of the biggest ones, and they're a lot of fun. I've had a really good time over there. Montreal's a really awesome party Fringe. Toronto I didn't enjoy so much. It seemed like a very businessy Fringe. There wasn't much of an atmosphere about it.
So you're saying it mimics the impression that all Montrealers have of Toronto?
Yes, I think that's exactly right. And a lot of people warn me. I mean, my show still did well there, but I just didn't have as much fun. And that just really kind of just sullied it for me. It just felt like there was too many people out there trying to impress each other, rather than just hang out and have a good time and socialise.
It's a bit of an industry town, though, for show business within Canada, so that might have had something to do with
Oh,
it.
yeah,
for sure.
Totally. Which is, in terms of Fringe, that just doesn't work for me. I mean, there's a certain element of, networking about it, which is important, and you meet other artists that you end up working with, and other people, that you want to try and come and see a show and you want to impress them, but just not that. I just hate that sort of schmooziness about it. It's just boring. It's just dull.
This is schmoozing.
I guess, but we're just we're sitting in your kitchen,
Fair enough. Good question. Now, not that I have one at the moment, but this part needs to come out. I sort of lost my train of thought there for a moment. So what other projects are you involved in when it's not Fringe? You've obviously been here for a year. What else have you been up to?
I do a monthly improv sci-fi comedy show called Captain Spaceship at Mainline Theatre, which has been a lot of fun, which is basically it's our version of Star Trek, Star Wars, Red Dwarf, Firefly, all mashed together. We play the same characters every month, but the audience gives us the new sort of plot every month. So that's been a lot of fun. I do a lot of stuff at Montreal Improv. I pretty much live at Mainline Theatre, it seems, these days. I'm doing a play there at the moment called Vicious Circles. I'm doing a play reading there tomorrow from my new play called Trampoline, which is opening in Australia later in the year. So my background is basically theatre and improv.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And do you have, do you know what dates your show is? I'm sure you do, because it's coming up pretty soon.
I don't know the exact dates for Zach to the Future, because they're sort of sporadically all throughout June, but if you check out the Montreal Fringe website, which is montrealfringe.ca, or my website, which is zachadams.org, which is ZACKADAMS.org.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's all on there.
Last question we have for you is, so you've been in Montreal a year?
Yep.
Is there a restaurant, a bar, an event, anything? What do you love about Montreal? Someone from Australia or from wherever was coming to Montreal.
Yeah.
What would you tell them they need to check out while they're here? That wouldn't be in the guidebook.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it is in the guidebook, but Tam Tams is a big one for me. That blew my mind the first time I walked down that mountain, not knowing I was about to walk into 1,000 nerds with swords fighting, and then just hippies just smoking pot and dancing all day throughout the summer, every Sunday.
Drum circles.
Yeah, drum circles. When I found out that happened every week, my brain exploded a little bit. One of my favourite places to eat on Saint Laurent is Cocorico. which is a chicken sandwich place. Like, just get the sauce and spice and the potatoes, man. Oh, good times.
Cheap eats?
It's cheap eats and it's good eats.
And a favorite bar? Where's your favorite bar?
Favorite
watering hole?
bar? I live quite close to the Royal Phoenix. I've been there a few times, just for comedy nights and for drinks and stuff.
It's not far from here.
It's not far from here.
Saint Laurent Bernard, right at the corner.
Yep. Barfly on occasion, when you feel like, going to a sort of a sticky floor kind of bar.
Uh-huh.
I like those now and then.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sticky floor like that.
Yeah, like kind of going, it's just like,
sticky
you're pretty
floor.
sure if you stood in one spot for long enough, just liquid just would slowly rise around you.
I think we've all performed on some stages like that
Oh
at some
yeah,
point.
absolutely. I like those stages.
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
character.
It's funny. It's
and
funny.
grit.
It's funny you say that because we talked about Toronto crowds or performing Toronto. I've performed in Toronto at the Comedy Bar. I don't know if you guys are familiar. with this place.
I've been there. Yeah.
And their stage is really sticky, but I love performing at the Comedy Bar. The crowds are great. They want to see comedy. They're hungry, and they're an awesome, smart audience. So, but it's a sticky floor, so it's a bit of a trade-off. You get an awesome audience with your shoes
Just
stuck
that
to
sort
yeah.
of noise as you try
And
to.
it distracts you as you're performing.
Yeah, it's good.
Cool. Well, listen, thanks so much for taking the time to come on the Comedy Hostel podcast, and hopefully people can go check your Fringe show out and see you around Montreal and enjoy our winter while you're basking on the beaches of Australia.
I will be thinking about you all. Don't worry about it.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
And I loved you when our love was blessed, and I loved you now. There's nothing left but clothes.
Hey everyone, thanks for downloading and tuning in to the Comedy Hostel's first ever podcast. Special thanks to our co-host for the week, Abdul Butt, and our debut guest, Shane Adamczak. Check out the Facebook fan page. All their details for their shows, their social media is going to be there. It's facebook.com/MTL Comedy Hostel. That's also our Twitter handle. Follow us on there. And special thanks to Reese Turner. Thanks so much for producing.
No problem, thank you.
And check us out every Thursday at M Bar for Stand Up at the M. 1245 Rue Saint-André. We have pro comics. Abdul's doing the show on June 13th. We have up-and-comers. It's a pay-what-you-can show. The beer is really cheap, and there's travelers from everywhere. So come and check that show out. Speak to you later. Thanks.